Hi, everyone. Welcome to Math Investigation number 9. We don't usually do investigations together, but I thought this would be a good one to do because we're going to make graphs and we could do a couple of those together. You should have a worksheet available on Google Classroom that you can use if you want to. If you want to use your own and draw your own graph, that's fine too. But anyway, we're going to start. I want to introduce the lesson and then we're going to do the odd numbers. That's all you have to do today. But I'm going to start you with a few and then I'm going to end with the graph on number 15. So let's look at the beginning of page 472 where it shows line graphs. And line graphs are just a great way to compare data. We have two different lines going in different directions and we can compare them. And the first example for us is down at the bottom there. They show a graph of temperature in Boston in a typical year. And you can see horizontally they have the months, J for January, F for February, and so on. And then vertically they have the temperatures, 0 degrees, 10 degrees, and upward. And you can see what they have already charted for you is that in January it was 30 degrees. And then February was a little higher, and then March it got up to 40, and it got a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And then by July it was nice and warm, about 75 degrees, and then it started going back down. So you can see how the temperature changed over a year with a quick view. Then look on page 473 and you can see that they connected the dots. Now it's really easy to see the temperature went up and then it came back down. And that's why line graphs are so easy to look at and understand. So now I want to do one with you. Let's go ahead and do the problems together. We're only going to do odd numbers today. I'm going to start you with a few and end up with number 15 so we can do those two graphs together. Let's look first at number 1, and that is information given in that little chart about Kyle doing pull-ups. Okay, let's look together at number 1, and this will be also on your graph paper. I've drawn it out for you. Okay, it says make a line graph showing how the number of pull-ups Kyle could do changed over this period. So there are the years on the horizontal graph at the bottom, and then the number of pull-ups going vertically on the drawing that we have. Let's look at the first year. In 1998, Kyle did 4 pull-ups. So find that on your graph. Here's 1998, and here's the first one. He did 4 pull-ups. Then look at your chart again. 1999, he did 6. So let's put in a little 6, a dot at the 6 there. And then in the year 2000, he did 10. Now he did a lot more that year. The year 2001, he did 11. So let's find 2001 at the bottom and go up to 11. In the year 2002, he did 13. And then in the year 2003, I'm sorry, that's not 13. You watch that I don't make any mistakes now. Okay. 13 would be where? Up here. Okay. And then in the next year, 2003, he did 12. Whoops, is that 12? Nope. Watch me. Where would you put it? Right here. 12. Okay, now we're going to connect our dots. So let's connect them from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, here to here, and here to here. We can see by connecting those dots the pattern of the way he did his pull-ups. He did really well at certain points, and then he kind of get a little tired maybe by the next year. Okay, but in a moment you can glance at a graph and see what happened. So now let's do some of the odd numbers. We're just doing odd numbers today, and I'm going to start you with a few. So let's go down to number 3. Number 3 says, in which year did Kyle record the greatest improvement over the previous year, and how can you tell? What year did he show the greatest improvement? I would say the first year that he showed the greatest improvement over the previous year would be the year 2000. Look how high he went up in the year 2000. I'll make that a little bigger. So we will write down here the year 2000. And then it says, how can you tell? We can tell because it was the greatest jump on our chart. Greatest jump. All right, and the next one, number 5. Let's look at number 5 together. Number 5 is talking about a businessman. Back on page 473 is the chart, and it shows Mr. Escobar invested in stocks. He made a line graph to show how the value of his stocks changed during the year, during the different years. So let's look at that one together. And here's the question. In which year, number 5. At the beginning of which year were his stocks worth the most? And how much were they worth then? So which year were his stocks, look at the chart then, worth the most? What do you think? I think the year 2000. They were worth the most. And how much were they worth in that year? Go up the chart and look over to the left and see how much money? $14,000. That's a lot of money. Okay, so now let's look at number 7. During which year did the value of his stocks decrease the most? During which year did they decrease the most? Well, from 2000, if you look at the chart, to 2001, they made a pretty big drop. So I would say the year that they decreased the most, again, was the year 2000. We're skipping to number 7 here because we're doing odd numbers. And how much did it decrease? Well, it went from 14,000 to 10,000. So that was $4,000. It decreased. So now let's go to number 15 and do this chart together. This is kind of a fun one to do. This is about Naomi and Takeshi. And Naomi and Takeshi took 6 science quizzes. And you can see the number of the quizzes is the horizontal at the bottom. And then their scores is the vertical along the side. So let's look at the chart and let's graph this chart of how they did. First of all, let's do Naomi. And she's going to be in black. Okay? In black. On my chart. You can make them any color you want. Okay, so Naomi, in the first quiz, she made 6, which would be in, each quiz is worth 10 points, okay? Then, in the second quiz, she made 7. And then, in the third quiz, Naomi made 8. Can you find 8 on here? The third quiz, all the way up to 8. And then in the fourth quiz, she made 9. See the fourth quiz right there? And then the fifth quiz, she made 8. Whoops, she's coming back down a little bit. And then in the sixth quiz, she made 6. So we can see a pattern of Naomi's scores. Let's connect our dots here. Now let's look at Takeshi. Takeshi we're going to do in red. Okay, let's do Takeshi in red. There she is. Takeshi did, in the first quiz, she got a 4. In the second quiz, she got a 4. So you mark these 2 on your paper. In the third quiz, she got a 5. She went up a little bit. In the that's the third quiz. The fourth quiz, she got a 6. She's improving. In the fifth quiz, she got a 7. Up to here. And in the 6th quiz, she got a 7. Let's see what happened by connecting the lines. Here, we're going to connect here, 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 and here. Well, we can see just at a glance that at first Naomi did really well, better than Takeshi, but then later she dropped down a little bit. Takeshi kind of went up steadily and stayed actually ending up doing better than Naomi. So you can tell by just glancing at a line graph what happened in that situation. So I hope that was helpful to do a little bit of graphing with you. And now you can finish up the odd numbers that are left, and that will be our math lesson for today. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.